In this video, I'm going to explain to you why we're lonely, and not for the obvious reason that you might think it is. Now, the thumbnail said why media, social media, television, computers, even books are making us lonely. Now, of course, when we think of social media, there's the obvious reason. So I'm going to get into that. But then I'm actually going to get into the deep, real reason, which I discovered on YouTube, oddly enough, of why we're actually lonely as a culture and on an individual level. And I'm also going to explain how to fix it, which is the best part. Okay, so you really have to get back to basics. So the reason why most people think that social media makes us lonely is because, well, one, you could be in a room with people just scrolling on their phones and not having any manners, not paying attention to you, not making eye contact. Very obvious reasons. Also, social media basically reduces people's skills and ability to interact and have real conversations. Very true. So we've heard those and many of those reasons about how social media is sort of ruining the human interaction a million times. And we have also heard about how it's making us lonely. But there's kind of this big thing that is kind of basically being ignored. And I'll explain a little backstory. So like all the people out there, you read one book. I read The Circle. I've seen clips. I've listened to Jonathan Haidt and all these things. And you're like, okay, I'm quitting social media. So I've done it a few times. I quit, oh God, maybe 4 years ago, I quit for a month. And then this summer I quit for a month. And then this fall I quit for a month. I just kind of go through this, right? And of course, the obvious thing that you notice is everybody's on their phone all the time, which is super annoying. But here's one thing I noticed about myself. When I'm not on my phone, and we don't have cable here. I mean, not a lot of people have cable here, but I barely watch TV. If I watch anything, I watch a little bit of YouTube. But when I don't have any of that, when I'm not watching any of that, the first thing I do is I want to call a friend. I want to see a friend. I want to plan dinner parties. I want to get people together, which is actually what I did. I planned a super fun fall harvest dinner with a friend this fall. And that was amazing. And I was man, I need to be having dinner parties with all of my friends. Sometimes I don't like inviting people over because I feel the dust bunnies in the corner really show themselves. But who actually cares? Because your real friends don't care. But when I am living my normal life with my Instagram, my YouTube, some Facebook, I never think about having dinner parties. I think oh, the kids have sports, that keeps us busy. I work 40 hours a week. There's all these things where you're I don't think of it. And we'll have dinner with family, but we're not having dinner parties and we're not having dinner with friends. We really aren't. We will go, I think we've had people over for dinner that were friends once this year. And that was the dinner I just referenced. So I'm talking about when you are not caught up in watching your Netflix shows in the evening and even your YouTube shows, and you're not caught up at scrolling on your phone for an hour in the evening, you're thinking about hanging out with your friends or calling your mom or, getting in front of real people, having play dates or signing up for that pottery class or calling a friend to see if they want to go to the gym with you to try out the gym you've never been to. You change how you think. And so everybody's blaming social media for our loneliness epidemic because obviously there's some terrible statistics about suicide and all these things going on in the world, but let's rewind and go to TV. Let's start at TV. And do I want to even talk about books? Let's leave books out of it. But having been in a serious book addiction before, that could really impact your social life as well. But if you take out TV, so if you didn't have TV, think about this. If you didn't have TV, you didn't have Instagram, you weren't scrolling on your phone, and by TV I mean any screens, any screens, you had no screens, then you would be calling your friends, or if you didn't have a phone, you'd go and see your friends. Now, I'm not recommending that we all go back into the dark ages, but I do recommend a bit of a screen hiatus. Like, give yourself a week, maybe 2 weeks, and be like, I'm not gonna watch any shows and I'm not gonna go on social media. What's gonna happen? Because I can tell you, you will be craving social contact. And sometimes when you're like bored and craving something, you can go on your phone and it fulfills that need. And you're like, you just kind of like satisfied that little thing by watching a couple workout videos, by watching a couple budgeting videos, or like whatever it is, but it like fills that need. So it's funny, ironic, actually really ironic. I was on YouTube and I was watching this video. It was how to make butter tea by these people. Oh my God, I'm gonna get it wrong. Nepalese people in the mountains, and they lived in this like rock house, and they would make this butter tea. Oh my God, my dog is laying on a crinkly piece of paper, sorry. This butter tea made out of yak butter. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Anyway, it was like this day in life, the kids, what they feed them. Like, I just like love that stuff, like how people live, and this guy was filming it, got millions of views. But in the thing, like the people living there do not have phones. They do not have social media. And man, they help their neighbors. They're not too busy to help their neighbors, or maybe they are, but they just help their neighbors. And I know that's a different type of community, so there's like lots of different things happening there, and it's not because they don't have screens that they help their neighbors, but maybe there's a stronger sense of community because people need each other. And then the other thing is that they have dates, like dinner dates with their neighbors, and they rotate going to everybody's house once a week to hang out. And it's like, of course you're gonna do that. And I mean, I know people do that, and I know people are social, but I just mean that like, that's their default, you know? Like, anyway, do you get it? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of what spurred this. I was thinking that, and then I was like having my hiatus and thinking back to that, and I'm like, man, being on my phone or looking at screens is taking me away from real people. So there you have it. That is why we are lonely as a culture, and it's probably why we're lonely individually. So what I would really like to recommend is a break, a 1 week break. Start there and just see if you feel your programming change, your thoughts, thinking about different things, thinking about different friends. There. Okay. Thanks for coming to my rant. Have a good day. Bye.